Hi, my name is Mrs. Tiffany Barella, and today we are going to discuss our back to school reading orientation for grades 4th through 8th. And we're going to discuss what that looks like and what are some of the books and the topics that we will be addressing in this orientation. So first of all, I'd like to go over the Library of Congress defines children's literature as material that is written or produced for the information and entertainment of children and or young adults. With that being said, we are going to discuss the books that are most commonly read, and I have selected 5 of them, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them, as well as how they come together with our cross-curricular with ELA, science, and social studies. So let's get started. The first book we're going to read in the month of September and October is we are going to read the book Wonder. Wonder is a story about a little boy who has not been in school. He has health deformities and several things that are wrong with him. He finally goes into school and he begins to realize that he is different from others in some significant ways. So this book is going to help us build our classroom community and let our students know that it is okay to be different. Everybody has similarities and differences, but yet everybody is very important in their own way. The second book we're going to be reading is in November and December. We're going to be reading the book Hatchet. And the book Hatchet is a book about survival and problem solving. We're really going to hone into the problem solving skills and being able to understand that as an individual, a lot of things that occur in our life are things that we must take care of on our own, and we must learn to problem solve and figure out what are our next steps to take care of ourselves. The next book we're going to read in January and in February is called Inside Out and Back Again. And this book is about cultural understanding. We are going to use this one a lot with our cross-curricular. We are going to do a lot of writing assignments that go with this book. So we are going to hone in on our ELA, and we are going to actually have a book study that includes a journal that goes with this book. In March and April, we are going to read The Giver, which I'm super excited about. The Giver will give us about information about critical thinking skills and about society and what that looks like. And then last but not least, in May, as we wrap up the school year, we will be reading Ghost, which I'm super excited about. Ghost will help us talk about personal growth and achievement within oneself and what does that look like. For our cross-curricular, we're really going to hone in on some data of some scores that we had from our beginning of year assessments, middle of the year assessments, and then our end of year assessments. And we're really going to see what have we accomplished this school year, what does that look like, and we're also going to bring in math with that as far as we are going to graph our data individually and then with different classes and then again with different grade levels, so we can really see those trends that we have as far as growth, or where we see that next year as educators we may need to hone in on some different things to really support our kids. So these reading lists begin with community building, and then we finish with Ghost, where we dive into personal achievement. Each of the books that I have selected provides engaging cross-curricular opportunities in core subjects of math, science, and social studies. One thing we want to address is differentiation of reading experiences. We know that our students are at different reading levels, and we want to make it meaningful for everyone. So how we're going to do that is we're going to differentiate the assignments within the book. So we will read the book whole group all together, all of us. However, to really help those students grow, we are going to modify some of the lessons based on the students' reading levels and their level of understanding and comprehension. The last thing we wanted to discuss is also about censorship in our families and what that looks like. We know many of our families have very legitimate concerns about some of the books that we read and the topics that we encounter in school, whether it's violence, substance abuse, sexuality, religion, sometimes historical things, language. Sometimes families find that offensive, and even political and social views of things that are happening, current events in our country. And so I want to make sure that everybody understands that it is important to acknowledge everybody's concerns and be respectful while also being able to explain the rationale behind the books that we've selected to read, and what that looks like. So we want to make sure that our students have empathy and social understanding above all things, so that they will understand how that looks in the real world as far as academics and literacy and different books and events and things that happen in the real world. So I'm super excited. I'm eager to get started. So let's get reading.